Good morning. This is Dagmar Oktatsova reporting live. The spiritual healer with Soul Matters, talking about all the things that matter, all the things of the soul. Anyway, let me just see if we can invite a few friends to sort of watch a little bit. Let me see. I'm just going to be right with you here. And, today we're actually talking about health alternatives to dental work, which is an interesting one. So anyway, just thought I invite a couple of different friends. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we got a hi, Sylvia. Nice to see you this morning. Thanks for joining. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about alternatives to dental work. You know, all of us are so bought into the mainstream industry when it comes to healthcare as well as dental care that sometimes we're so stuck in, hi, thanks for saying hi, Sylvia. We're so stuck in, the idea that we have to fix things in a certain way, the way the dentist tells us or the way the doctor tells us and so forth. And I just recently found myself in a situation where, I felt so suppressed by the options that were given to me in terms of fixing a cavity I have. And I don't like personally dentists because I get a sense that it's for the dentists, it's all about the profits and it's not about your teeth health so much as it's about their profits. And, I just remember when I was about in my early 20s, I, for the first time, went to have some cavities fixed. And it was due to the fact that my dad was keeping a lot of Coca-Cola at the house, and I kept drinking it with him a lot. That was a lesson in itself to do that. And I came up with 4 cavities, and I never before had cavities in my mouth. So anyway, but I remember going to the dentist, and they're drilling my teeth, and they're showing him in the mirror how they're drilling out my tooth. And I'm thinking to myself, this was a small cavity, and it looked like they drilled my entire tooth out. I'm like, what the hell? And so the next time I went to fix my next one, I said, okay, do it without Novocaine and, just don't drill that far and otherwise I'll bite off your finger. And, that was my first experience with dentists here in the U.S. And I don't know if you know, but actually, you can have your cavity drilled out when it's small and you don't have to have Novocaine. It doesn't hurt. In fact, you're going to hurt less if you do that, unless they hit the root, of course, then it'll hurt. But you actually will hurt less because Novocaine, causes, the pain afterward to spread much more or intensifies it more when you're getting off of it. So anyway, that was my first experience. But recently, after 30 years, I have another cavity, and so it's a pretty deep one, and I went in and they, immediately said I needed a root canal. And, it's like a major cost, first of all. And then, you talk about practically almost losing your tooth because they drill out the inside of your tooth, which the tooth is then practically dead. So, and, that's the only other option they gave me was pulling my tooth. And I'm like, well, then I'll have a hole in there. I don't want that either. So I went to get a second opinion, and needless to say, they said exactly the same thing. And, on top of that, I'm looking at, being, again, pumped full of Novocaine stuff, because obviously if they're going to do a root canal, you're not going to do it without Novocaine. But, I've been working on trying to cleanse my liver because it's already so toxic from the last time I had any kind of procedures done. So anyway, I really was feeling very down, I guess, kind of suppressed by all the options that are given to me, until suddenly my spirit just popped an idea into my mind to go look up the health consequences of root canal. And so I did. I went online and looked up the consequences of root canals, the health consequences, and I didn't read very good things about it, actually. And the idea is that when you have a root canal done, they pull out basically the root and the tissue out of the tooth, so which means the tooth is practically dead. So you have a decaying tooth in your mouth, okay, that's filled up with artificial stuff. And they're finding that even though they pull out the main roots, there's these little tiny roots that come out of the tooth that actually can leach the toxins from this decaying tooth into your body. And in fact, it can have systemic problems. So in other words, you could, develop arthritis, or it can have problems with your heart about it. Anyway, read up on it. Take a look at online what's going on as far as the health consequences of root canals. And read for yourself, do your own research. I'm not here to tell you what to do. And but that's what I found out. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, well, that's not good. I don't want a root canal in that case, right? And I certainly don't want my tooth pulled either. And so I looked up, what are the alternatives to root canals then? I mean, what are the other options I have besides pulling my tooth? And so lo and behold, I run into this concept of actually that we have the ability to reverse cavities. And I had no idea we could actually reverse cavities. And so it's interesting. It's actually supposedly, the cavity is basically a certain kind of bacteria that eats away your enamel. And so you apparently can kill that bacteria. Not just that, but actually the tooth can regrow the enamel. And I'm like flabbergasted by this whole thing. Now, since then, I've talked to at least one person that has done that with very small cavities. Now, my cavity is pretty large, but I keep asking my spirit, can I do this? Can I actually heal this cavity? And I keep getting a yes. So I'm like, yay. And you wouldn't believe the relief I felt within my soul of being able to actually reverse my cavity, not having to pull my tooth, not having to have a root canal done for thousands of dollars and then face health problems in addition to that, not to mention the Novocaine they're going to pump me full with. It's going to, again, be a heavy load on my liver that already has problems. So I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to heal this cavity. And so I hope I can do it because, like I said, it's a pretty large cavity. It's probably hitting the root at this point, but it's not infected. And I'm very excited about it. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that there are options out there other than what you're being told. Okay? And this is the second time that I've run into a different way of being able to resolve something. The other time was actually with my kidney stone, where I had to go into the hospital, or so I thought, and have actually a surgical procedure done, if you will, under full anesthesia. And they pumped me full of Cipro, this antibiotic that destroys your DNA repair cells and all kinds of stuff. And I had a stent in me, and they had to do it twice, and all sorts of stuff. And I had the hardest time recovering from that process physically. And, in comparison, the second time I had a stone, I went with a naturopath and did a bunch of cleansing stuff, and we actually pulled the stone out, including my gallbladder stones. And, within a time frame of 1 to 3 months. And I was just flabbergasted that, there is another method of actually doing something and healing yourself without causing so much more other damage. And the current medical and health industry and dental industry is so profit-oriented. Why would they give up a $3,000 root canal when they can actually, make that money instead of telling you, oh, go away and heal your cavity, right? They're not going to make anything on that. So, but I tell you what, we are moving into a higher dimension. I don't know if you guys heard of the ascension process, or who has heard of it or who hasn't, or if this feels too woo-woo for you, but we are actually moving higher in vibration. to experiencing life differently. And one of the items that I understand is supposed to be different in the higher dimension is that we're going to be much healthier, that sicknesses aren't going to be as much of a problem there. And from just my own journey of, being able to find alternative solutions, much different than what's offered by the medical and the dental industry, that are much more healing, much more encompass your whole being, your whole health, and so forth, and preservation of your health, is just proof of that's where we're headed. And so, which is very, very exciting. And I just wanted to share all this with you because just to help you understand that there are other options, there are different ways of doing things, and there are alternatives to what's being offered in the main industry. And so I hope you take that to heart and do your own research. You are your own best advocate for your health. So do your own research, be informed. There's so much good information online. Now, I'm not saying believe everything you read. Make sure and filter it through your own common sense, and so, do your own research and go out there and find solutions for your own health. One other thing that I also want to mention is that a lot of our health and dental stuff is also spiritual oriented, okay? Because I know I've done healings with people around like gum issues and things like that, where they have stored, for example, anger in their gums, or I've recently done healings with people on their sinus issues. So the spiritual does affect the physical as well. So sometimes the solution is in the spiritual, not just in the physical way of the way we eat or what we do physically, but it is also in the spiritual area. So, if you want to explore other options from the spiritual angle, I'd be happy to help you. I do quantum healings through the subconscious mind. They're extremely effective, and they get right to the root cause of the problem. And so you can also resolve a lot of issues in that way, okay? And so feel free to message me if you're interested in doing some kind of work like that. If you're tired of what you're getting, the runaround you're getting with the medical industry and the health industry. And, find out the beautiful stuff that is available to you, that is much more healing and health encompassing and, promoting of your soul and your spirit and your body. So one last thing I want to say is that one of the things to actually reversing the cavity, and you can also look that up online if you want to know exactly what the process is. There's procedures right online telling you what to do. Look up reversing your cavities. Well, one of the new things I've learned is actually goat's milk kefir is supposed to be very good in terms of actually fighting your cavities. And so I bought some for the first time yesterday, and I have some here for breakfast. So this is my goat's milk kefir. And I was actually surprised of how good it is. Now, mind you, I do not like sour milk like buttermilk. I can't stand it. But the kefir from the goat's milk is actually very good. And I bought it plain, not sweetened at all, because sugar obviously is not good for your cavity. And then what I do is I just put in there, where is it? Just a few blueberries. They're wild blueberries, not sweetened or anything like that. And I just add them into my kefir, and I eat that for breakfast. And you guys, it is delicious. And it's actually so healthy. It actually helps me fight my cavity. And I'm like, oh my God. This is like heaven, you guys. And you can fight your cavity with something that actually tastes good. It doesn't have any sugar in it. It's just plain goat kefir and some wild blueberries. They were frozen, defrosted. And the other major thing I do some coconut oil pulling. And if you don't know what that is, look it up online. Again, look up reversing your cavities online and check out what you can do. And I know I've met at least one person that has said that it worked on a small cavity. So I'm very excited to be doing that on myself. Don't know how many months it's going to take me, but hey, it's better than losing my tooth, and it's better than me actually getting a root canal and facing all kinds of health problems. So I hope this helped you guys, and hope you, you know, I should say a toast to you guys' health over here, all right? And I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll talk to you soon.